Because without you understanding how you can hack yourself to be productive, trust me, you will not be able to achieve anything that makes sense. If I've been able to do a lot personally in my career and the work I do, is because I have been able to hack myself and understand the things I can put in place to enhance my productivity. I'm sure many people, you can testify here how you plan to do something throughout the day and you end up not even doing up to 50%, right? Maybe a friend come and distract you, or a movie distracts you, or a discussion distracts you, or you put on your TikTok or Instagram, before you know, you have spent 2 hours swapping up and down, and but you really have the desire to achieve things, but you have not been able to hack your own self to understand how to lead and manage yourself to be productive. Is there anybody else still going through stuff like that? Leave me a message in the chat box that yes. If you still go through stuff where you always have this desire to focus on the core things in your life and be productive, but yet at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you still notice that majority of your time you are doing non-productive things, and you will get so mad at yourself, but next week you still do the same thing, right? Yeah. So it happens. And the best way that you need to do that is for you to know certain productivity hacks. And that's why I've been teaching all of this. And before we continue, anybody here, you started implementing the last productivity hack that I taught on morning and evening routine? Anybody? Raise up your hand and I'll give you a chance to share your experience for the 2 days or 1 day that you have done it. Anybody? So for those who missed the session, you can check the YouTube channel. You see productivity hack, morning and evening routine. You see there, and you can watch and go through and understand yourself. Anybody here, have you started intentionally practicing that morning and evening routine as far as hacking your productivity is concerned?
Yes,
Yes, go ahead, share your experience. How is it going so far? Or what happened?
Yeah, I think for me, reduced the movie, and when I sleep after reading something, I usually have motivation. Like I can sleep and waking up, I have like new ideas to my project or other things. But if I sleep after watching a movie or something, in fact, even to wake up is very difficult.
Yeah, there's always that direct relationship, and many people have not mastered this. This is that direct relationship. See, if you do the wrong things and sleep, you can hardly wake up with inspired ideas. If you do the right things and go to bed, you do the right productive activities and go to bed, I can bet you'll wake up more energized, more motivated, and more inspired. There are many people who have not been able to conquer sleep, to always wake up early or on time at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., and all of that. Is because they go to bed the wrong way. Okay, good. And keep on doing that. And in the first days, as I said, it's not for you to be perfect, because you're still trying to build a habit. The secret here is be consistent. Do your best to maintain that particular habit. Do your best to stay away from the wrong habits and push yourself to the right habit. All right, good. So today we are looking at block time and block distractions productivity hack. That's what we're looking at today. So let us break down and see how you can practice this particular productivity hack in your life. Okay. All right. Step one, the first step where you need to, or the first thing that you need to do to achieve this productivity hack is for you to set a time, or a time, it be 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 120 minutes, 3 hours, to focus on relevant work. So you block, you set it, you identify the time. Like sometimes personally for me, I do this a day before. Like I know that I'm going to do a couple of things the next day, but sometimes there is a particular period within the day where I know I am going to activate time blocking. Okay. So you can do that before you go to, okay, tomorrow between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., I'm going to totally block out myself and focus on this task. Or it could be 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You're going to do this. For me, many at times is in the morning where I block it. In the morning, I'm blocking days maybe 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Or when you go to the office, your first early hours in the office, you block it. Okay, but you need to identify, set out that time first. And I always recommend have it in your mind the day before your next day. Okay. Then step 2, clearly outline your core focus priorities. Remember, step 1, the focus is you want to do relevant work. It could be just one activity, that one core activity. Like I did it today, and I had this important relevant work to do, and I knew that that work would take me about 4 hours. So I blocked out that time. I think it was it was after lunch. Yeah, so it was 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's why I blocked out the time and I focused on that activity until I was done. Okay, so you need to clearly outline the core focus priorities. So don't just block out the time, but you need to have that relevant task. It could be 2, it could be 1, but mostly for me, I use this time blocking for one relevant task, very important relevant task. And I like to do this for those tasks that are non-negotiable. There are some tasks that you cannot procrastinate. There are some tasks that maybe your boss is going to submit tomorrow. Some tasks that the client is expecting from you, or task that is very important in the work that you do, very important for your business. You need to, for me, time blocking has worked better for me. Okay, so you clearly outline your core focus priorities to fit within that time. Step 3 is where now this is the heart of time blocking and distraction blocking. This step 3, because if you don't do this step 3, every other thing that you did will go wrong. So step 3, where the point in this step 3 is for you to beat interruptions. So anticipate what can distract you and block it. Is the heart of this particular productivity hack. If you do every other thing and you don't do this, every other thing will still be affected and you will end up not being productive. So here is where you block out distractions, you beat interruptions. So here you can put your phone where it cannot distract you during that time. You can put it off, you can put it in another room, and you walk in another room, you can put off all the notifications, but you need to do something that your phone cannot distract you. Phone is coming first here because it has been rated in this dispensation among the highest things that distract and interrupt effectiveness at work or in life. Okay, and you can lock your office door, you can lock your room, or you can go to a place like we sometimes, in those days when you want to study, you go to the library, right? You can go to a community library if you can. You can go to a co-working space if you can. You can go to, just pick a place that you think that you will not be interrupted. That is the heart of time blocking. I've used time blocking many times on site with many of mentees and those who do this. There was a time I did time blocking in Yaoundé when I used to work with Sea Life, and I just announced in the group that I think I mentioned this during a training casual. Then I said, okay, I want us to do this. Let me show you how it works. Then I invited guys. I said, okay, those who are interested to do time blocking with me, they should come to the office at Sea Life. It was a Saturday. And I gave the time that when you're coming, be ready to work from 1 p.m. on Saturday to 4 p.m. without interruption. And when you're coming, bring a project. Some people who are doing their degree or master's brought their master's projects and pieces. Some who were trying to write a book brought their books. So there are many people, there were about 7 of them who came to the office. And it was simple. Everybody indicated, okay, tell me, what is your goal for the next 4 hours? Everybody communicated to me and where they are. And the goal was that after the 4 hours, we are going to track and let them see how they have seen the progress. So somebody came and she had underwritten chapter 1 of her project. But when she was leaving, she was almost totally done with chapter 2, did a lot of research and all of that, and had more data, more information, and was more inspired to go finish the project, right? So it's very powerful. And one thing we did was that they put off their phones. They put off their phones, no calls, nothing. You just exclude yourself. And here you can communicate important people. Because if you are married, of course, it's good to communicate your spouse. Okay, you see, I will not be available within this time because of this. If you're in a serious relationship, communicate the person you're in a relationship with is important. So that you are not also worried that, oh, because sometimes you're focusing on something and your mind is wandering up and down. You are not really focusing. You are not really focusing. So this, if you don't do this, you need to put off television, you need to, anything that you know that can distract you, you need to cut it off, you need to block, you need to lock it out during that particular time. And then you focus on that. And it's also very important here, also locking up your mind. Your mind should not be wandering on. It is hard for you to really do time blocking when you have so many other things you're thinking about. Your mind needs to be focused on that particular relevant task at that particular time. If you are able to master time blocking, you will never procrastinate an important thing in your life. Personally, I don't remember the last time I have procrastinated anything that is very important. One of my most important tasks in my life every day, I always activate time blocking. There's always a day within the day that I will do time blocking. I get the task done, I do it, right? Good. So you need to master that. Step 4, when you make mistakes on what you're working on, focus on improving and becoming better. Yes, this is very important with time blocking because sometimes you can be working on something and then you make a mistake. You can be tempted. You can be tempted to stop the time blocking and go do other things. You can be tempted to give up. No, refocus on the project, improve, become better. You get the concept? So if you make a mistake, you do an error, or even if you are distracted, if something happens and you're distracted, refocus yourself back. Refocus yourself back and finish the task that you envision that you have to finish, because things can happen. I have done time blocking, and then before I know it, maybe something like this I'm doing in the office. I'm doing time blocking in the office, and then maybe a staff needs me urgently. That's the distraction that is important. So I will still attend to the staff of the situation. I will still come back and refocus on that. Or maybe I mistakenly do something wrong on the task. Maybe I work on the document the wrong way, or I'm working on the wrong document totally, or I'm using the wrong model or the wrong strategy, and I discover maybe in page 4 or all of that, I start all over again within the time blocking that I do until that time is finished, until I exhaust that particular time that I blocked. Nothing will change, because it is also not just about that. It's about maintaining the discipline. It's about maintaining the habit of focusing on core important things. Okay, so have this in mind, because anything can happen, and many a times for human beings, when they plan to do something and they get it wrong, they're tempted to just abandon it and give up, and they say, no, I'll redo it tomorrow. Right? Avoid that habit of, you're doing something today and it doesn't go the way you wanted, and let me just postpone and redo it tomorrow. It's a very bad habit. It wastes your time. It shifts your success ahead. It makes you to be lazy. And here's the funny thing: when you say that, what always happens? You go and do unproductive things. Like someone wants to do something productive, and then something happens, they just shift that productive activity tomorrow, and then they just carry their head now and go back to social media. They carry their head and go back to watch movies. They carry their head and they go here, right? And you don't get tired doing unproductive stuff, but you quickly get tired and give up. That's the funny thing about the human nature. We never get tired, or we never feel like giving up when it comes to doing unproductive things. No, we are never. That's why you can watch a movie for 4 hours, you're not getting tired. As you pick a book to read like that, boom, you start feeling bored. And these are things that you need to know about your system and start controlling them, because these things are under your control. That's why God gave you the willpower. God gave you the power of choice and discipline. The things should not control you. How can you allow your hunger for social media to control you over a productive activity? How can you allow a movie to control you over a productive activity? How can you allow sleep to control you over a productive activity? How can you allow bad spending habits to control you over the productive activity of managing your money well? You get the concept? So it is not good when you do that. And when you see people who give up easily, or when they make mistakes on important projects, they always take a very long time to succeed on important things, or they are always catching up. They're always under pressure for deadlines, which is not good. See, one sign that you are not productive is when you're always under pressure when it concerns deadlines. You're not a productive person, actually. Productive people get things done on time, and they move to other stuff. Like, for example, me, if I have something, you give me something that I have to do and submit. Let's say I'm applying for something, let's say a scholarship or whatever. If latest date is 30 days away, I always put on my to-do list based on my principles, not on the latest date. So most of the time, I will do maybe 20 days before the even closing date. And sometimes I will do it and I keep it. And I do other stuff, because sometimes, why do I keep it? Your brain can remember something that you forgot. That's why I like to do certain things. I keep it, because while I keep it, my subconscious mind know that it has not been submitted. So my subconscious mind is always thinking about it, and it can bring me something from nowhere and say, hey, this is a very important point, add to the application, and it makes it better. But when you keep it and you keep on shifting and shifting, and then you are writing quickly in a few days to submit, you don't write the best application, actually. There are many people that have been selected for stuff, not because they wrote good application, it's because others also wrote bad applications. You are not selected because you are the best. You are just the best among the worst, let me say so, because you did not take time to do it right. And there are people that have lost opportunities because of this. When they are trying to write something, an application or anything, when they make a mistake, they shift it. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And then deadline is approaching. They're not doing it quickly, in the haste, with poor content, poor structure, and all of that. And then they submit the wrong thing, or they submit something that is not up to standard, and then they're not selected. They start feeling bad for not being selected. And if you check what they like, one lady was so angry that she was not selected for Mandela Washington Fellowship. She send me an application, let me see. And she wrote total trash. I'm like, even if they're selecting 1,000 from Cameroon, you will not be among the 1,000. What you wrote doesn't make sense. Then I asked her, how long did you take to write this application? And she said, I took about 2 days. I said, then you see, you didn't do it well. You cannot take just 2 days to write a good application for a program like Mandela Western Fellowship, which the selection, how do you call that thing? The chances of being selected is like less than 2%, or is it less than 4 point something percent, right? It's too slim. Something that 50,000 people apply from across Africa, and they're selecting 700 from across the 50,000 francs. 50,000 people, not francs, right? So the time and the focus is good. So this step 4 has helped many people back. And this one thing that when I conquered myself personally, it really helped me a lot. When I make a mistake, I focus on it. It's the same like when you pray at your prayer time. Like you're praying and then your phone rings and something distracts you, you just stop praying and you just say, It's as if your spirit just died. No, force yourself and come back until your prayer time that you said is finished. Don't be distracted. It was a distraction, yes. It was not a sin. Come back and finish it. You're studying the Bible and you're distracted. Come back and finish the time you said that you will study the Bible. That's how you grow. That's how you subdue the flesh. That's how you subdue wrong habits. That's how you subdue wrong ways of doing things. And that's how you become very productive. Very, very productive. Are you being challenged in your productivity today? Are you being challenged? Leave me a message that being challenged. As I said earlier, see, until you master your art of productivity, there's just so little you can do with your life. I'm telling you, no matter how much big dreams you have, if you do not understand how to hack yourself to be productive, forget. There are some things that some of you are taking 5 years to achieve. You should have taken about 2 years to achieve them. Productivity reduces how long you take to achieve goals. If some of you check your life carefully, like maybe before you join PPA, you see the difference that you achieve more results maybe in 2022 more than you are 2018 or 2019. Can somebody confirm that? Can somebody confirm that before you join PPA, maybe at 2022, you have achieved more results in your project, in your career, in your business more than 2018, 2019, 2020, and all of that? So you see, many people are confirming good. So you see, now just imagine if you just improve on that again, like by 10, 20, 40%, you'll be so amazed at what you can do. Okay, I don't joke with my personal productivity because I know that that is the core element of everything as far as achievement is concerned. Okay, so take this particular productivity hack seriously and you see changes in your life. Step 5, okay, subdue that feeling of going to do the easy things. Keep refocusing until the time you said is finished. I was already talking about this. It's very important. If I ask many people, you will confirm. That's for you that you will set time that you want to do something before you know hungry is doing you. You will just forget what you're doing. You want to go and look for food. Before you look for food and finish and eat, it's like 3 hours have passed already. Right? Or you set something to do, and then before you know, you're like, let me just check my WhatsApp and see if that person has written me. And before you check, you have already replied like 10 messages on WhatsApp. Before you know, 1 hour is gone. Okay, so you need to beat this feeling you need to subdue that feeling of going to do easy things. Be careful. Be careful of easy things that try to take you away from your productive activities. Don't do those things. Those things are just parasites. Be careful of those things. Yes, be careful of those things. Subdue that feeling of going to do the easy things. Keep refocusing. When that feeling comes, when that thought comes, push it away, refocus it. Focus on the time, focus on the task at hand until you are finished before you do anything. It is your responsibility to subdue this feeling, because when you allow this feeling, it will roll over you. I have said this time without number to all of us here. The body by default is designed to be lazy. The body by default is designed to like easy things. I always like to use the example of sleep. Since you have grown old at their age right now, has there been a day that you don't want to work? A day that you are excited leaving bed. Even if your spirit is excited, but the body never likes to leave the bed. Can somebody confirm that? Can you confirm that? See, today, till this morning that you woke up this morning, your body still did not want to wake up from bed. So you will listen to me right now from your bed right now. So you will listen to me right now from your bed. And I warn you about that that's not a good habit. You are training your body you are training your body to keep doing easy things and lazy things. Okay, it's a character, it's a culture. Leave your bed and do certain things. Avoid doing certain things in your comfort zone. it doesn't contribute to your productivity as a person. It doesn't contribute to your effectiveness as a professional. So subdue that feeling. You are working on something, a TV program comes to your mind, subdue the feeling and focus on that task. You are working on something, you remember that you have not texted a particular friend, subdue that feeling. Sometimes what I do is I write it down. I prefer to write it as a to-do list than to go and do it. I prefer to write, okay, after this time, go and do this. I will just type on my notepad, okay, do this and do this after this. I will not, but the highest I can do is I can note it so I don't forget. Because many a times when it's time for your brain to refocus in a calm way, your brain starts reminding you of so many things that you forgot to do. Have you noticed that? When it's time for you to calm down and just do something that is serious in your life, and your brain is now calm, your brain is no longer everywhere. Boom. Some things that you forgot, some minor things that you forgot to do start popping in your head. That pop, 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 pop. You need to subdue those things. I recommend you to have a notepad, note them down. Note them down and do it. When you do that, that's how you take control of your life. See, be in charge of your life. Don't allow activities, especially easy things, to be in charge of your life. Your dreams depend a lot on the deepness and the quality of your productivity. Until you hack these things, oh my goodness. Until you hack these things, you will not be able to do it. Okay, very important. So that is the productivity hack on time blogging. And this is one of the highest productivity hacks that I use as a person. I use a lot of, I use it like almost every day. It's one of my top 3 productivity hacks that I've used in the last, I can say in the last 5 years that I started using it. So it's very powerful, it's very practical, and it will, as I said, one thing I love about this particular hack is that I never procrastinate the most relevant task in my life. Any daily relevant task that I must do, I always just activate the time blocking protocol. I cut out all distractions. I sit with my laptop and we burn the 4 hours we set aside, the 2 hours we set aside. Sometimes it's just 30 minutes. Yes, sometimes there are some tasks you just need to block just 30 minutes. And what you can do in 30 minutes is marvelous. Okay, good. Any questions about personal productivity, you can ask me now and I will answer and we round up the session.